Hi, I'm Alexis.
I'm Lucy.
And we are here for an episode of 𝗖𝗏𝗃 Kids, where we teach you a kitchen skill and then demonstrate that skill in a recipe. And Lucy's helping me today. What are we doing?
We're making cupcakes and learning good baking techniques.
That's right, because you don't know how many times adults tell me that they're not a baker and they don't know how to bake. It's intimidating for a lot of people. So that's why we want to teach kids at a young age the proper baking techniques. It's not hard. You learn it from the beginning. And Lucy and I, in fact, were baking last week, and we were doing this cake, and we did not practice good baking techniques. We rushed it. The butter was cold, the eggs were cold, and what happened?
The batter clumped up.
Yeah, everything kind of got like clumpy in there. And what did we do to try to fix it?
We put a hot towel around the bottom.
Yeah, it took forever. So you start the right way from the beginning and then you're golden. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're all ready to go. We have our pan prepped. We learned with Dylan last week how important it is to make sure that your pan is ready to go before you get started. And it's awesome because we are building on so many skills that we've already learned in 𝗖𝗏𝗃 Kids. We have our eggs cracked, which we learned with Miles. We have our mise en place. We learned how important it is to make sure that you have all of your ingredients prepped and ready to go before you get started. We're gonna go over some good baking, some good measuring skills later. And now we are going to cream the butter, and we're gonna learn how important it is to make sure that your butter is at room temperature so it gets nice and creamy and fluffy, because if it's too cold, what'll happen?
It'll make clumps.
Yeah, it just won't ever get creamy. You really need to get creamy. So Liz, which mixer do you think we're gonna use? Which attachment? That is the right one. This is good for whipping eggs or cream. This one is good for dough. That is the one that you wanna use when you are creaming butter for cakes or cookies, other baked goods. We're gonna cream the butter for about 2 or 3 minutes and come back and finish up the recipe. So Lucy has creamed the butter. She's gonna show you what it looks like. Really, really beautiful, nice and creamy. She's gonna add the eggs one at a time. The eggs are also room temperature, which is very important because you don't want the eggs to be, if the eggs are cold when they go in, then they're gonna make the butter, what?
Clumpy.
Yeah, it'll make the butter cold again. It'll seize up and then things won't mix properly. That's the whole important part of baking, is you want all your ingredients to be mixed well together. That's why we do the dry ingredients all together, and I'm gonna show you, we're gonna measure with the baking powder and the salt and mix that up so the baking powder is evenly distributed. And Lucy's gonna add the eggs one at a time, and then she's going to scrape the bowl in between so that they are properly mixed as well. I'm gonna get the flour while she's doing that. One, let's see, we're doing, yep. Did you do one at a time? That looks good. And then just make sure you scrape in between so that the eggs are incorporated evenly into the butter. So we are doing that much flour. Yeah, that's good. Go ahead and scrape now. Yep. And then we'll mix it again. And then I'm also gonna add baking powder and salt, because you always need salt to make sure that your things taste good. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to whisk this so it's evenly distributed, bakes up evenly. Lucy's gonna mix that. Yep, that's looking good. Perfect. And then finally, while she's doing that, I have my strawberry puree and milk, and I'm gonna add that together. Great. So this is one of my favorite recipes. Lucy, you probably don't know this, but I have been waiting for probably 2 years to put this recipe up because it is one of the best cupcake recipes. I love it. And we're gonna make it super fun for Memorial Day. So how does that look in? Nice and creamy? Okay, so we're gonna finish this up. Let's give it one more little whirl. Here, yeah, just hold that. We wanna make sure that I know it's a little loud, but you really need to make sure it's mixed well. Now we're gonna add half of the flour mixture. And then Lucy's gonna turn that on again. Go ahead. This just makes sure that if you add all the flour mixture at one time, it would get really kind of clumpy, and then when you go to add your wet ingredients, they wouldn't incorporate very well. So you do half, and then all of it. And then we're gonna add the remaining flour. And then we're gonna scoop it into our muffin tin and pop it in the oven, and we have beautiful cupcakes. And we'll show you how to decorate them at the end. But Luce, yep, Thanks for helping me. You have a good time?
Yeah.
Good. Thanks. We'll see you next time.